Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. It is March 24th, 2022. We got the whole squad back after a very rare Riggs and Frankie only show. We got Lurch, Trent, myself, Frankie, shout out Jake Bass, Brennan Jones, our whole squad. Boys, nice to see you again. You both got shades of pink on, so, you kind of both came in here similarly looking. It's nice to have you back.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back. I listened to part of the two-man show just to hear what the dynamic would be, and I thought it went really well. I thought you guys... And it really helps that when you're in person, but even I thought you guys had a good show. I really enjoyed listening. As a guy who couldn't be there, I was then just a podcast listener. Like if I didn't have this job and I was just, I was still working my old job, I would probably listen to the Foreplay podcast. And that was what it felt like when I listened to it the other day. I thought you two were great.
Wow. I agree. And I will say though, when Riggs said you both came out in here with a shade of pink, I didn't know if you were talking about Frankie's face at all, because that thing is just glistening right now.
No, it was worse before.
It was.
Do I sound weird right now? I'm in a very empty room, so I don't know if it's very
Well, you
echoey.
sound like there's nothing on the wall yet. Just sounds like there's nothing on the wall.
Nothing on the
like
walls
when
yet.
T just moved into his apartment, it was a mess, echoing everywhere.
Right,
But,
when I had that guy come over and you guys ridiculed me for having a guy come build my couch, and it was just me sitting in like a lawn chair doing the podcast, and it sounded like I was in a warehouse.
I got to get away to hear out of the computer and then hear out of my mic at the same time. That's something that I'm going to work on. I'm going to let you all know I'm going to work on that. It's number 2, a new setup, got the new desk, set everything up. Took me 8 hours, an IKEA desk. It was just an absolute nightmare. They always say assemble in 1.5 hours with one people. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
Fucking shot, dude.
No chance.
Trent, I know we gave you shit on the couch situation. I'm telling you, I got a dryer in my fucking house that's probably 5 years old. It came with the house, and just somebody at one point was just the start switch. You turn it and it wasn't working, and somebody turned it too hard and the piece broke. And instead of just buying a new dryer, which is, I don't know how much a new dryer is, $400 or $500, we fucking paid this company to come in, these appliance guys to come in, and then they charge you $130 to then tell you what you need to do, and then tell you it's going to be another $200 for them to come actually fix it. And then I go on fucking Amazon and you order these pieces that are this big that you have to then finagle into the dryer after unplugging it and undo all the wires. And I'm like, who on earth has time to do this shit? Just pay somebody to fucking do it. It was Trent, I apologize if we gave you any shit for the couch assembly purchase. Have somebody come do that. No, but it's for the birds to be doing this shit, taking screws out, and you drop them and they fall through a fucking vent. It's just a disaster.
It's actually a challenge.
Things need to come put together. If I was president, that'd be the first thing I start. Whether that adds to shipping costs, or it adds to warehouses being 10 times the size they currently are, you put it together, right? They're actually going through extra.
You can buy stuff, Frankie, put together. It's just not IKEA. So the IKEA brand that's $62 for furnishings throughout your whole house, you can just spend $2,000 and it comes put together. So that comes back to the cost thing, because you can get that done. It's just wildly more expensive to have it put together.
Well, there's my answer, because it's crazy. It seems like they're going out of their way to put it into a box. They're all right, does this piece fit this piece? It's almost like they actually put it together, and then they take it apart and put it into a box. It's just send it to me. But yeah, I guess it's just a higher end stuff.
It's actually interesting that we're talking about this. So I'm still at my parents' place, and right before we got on here, I let a guy in to fix the washer at their house. And he's the second guy to come out here, because the first guy did exactly what Riggs said, where he came, basically took the whole mechanism apart, and then I was sitting on the couch and he came over to me with the piece and was like, hey, you got to order this thing right here. It's the product number's right there, so when I leave, you go ahead, order that, and then when you get it, put it in there and it'll work. And he left and he handed me the piece, and I was like, I thought that was his job.
Yeah,
and I'm not I'm not confrontational enough to say that to him before he exited the house. So now there's a second guy here that we just called again and was like, hey, can you come out here and put all this in? Because I can't do any of that. I will make it worse if I try to fix it, and my dad will be mad at me, and then they're going to have to buy a whole new washer, and that's going to be on me. So just having someone do stuff for me is the way to go, in my opinion.
It is crazy, though, that guy doesn't be like, okay, your washer, the status of it, this is the part that's broken. I'm going to order one, come back in 2 weeks from now and fix it. like you think that would be, the onus would be on him. It's crazy that he comes and is like, here's the part that's broken. You're like 25% of the way there. Now you got to do the other stuff.
And I know I should have said that to him. In the moment when he was telling that to me, I was like, all right, now is the point where you say, I thought that was your job. And then, but I just let the moment pass. He walked out the front door and we just didn't have a washer for another week.
What'd your dad say when you reported the news of that?
He knows me. He's kind of like, shouldn't he have done that? And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, Pops. Like,
what's for
probably,
dinner? Yeah.
But I don't have a spine, so we're gonna have to call somebody else.
There are just two different types of people. There's a type of person who sees something is broken or needs to be assembled or needs to get done and just thinks, why on earth would I pay X amount for either a new one or someone else to do it? I can just do it myself. I could take the time and do it. And there's another type of person, which is what I am, that every single second that I spend doing something that I just don't want to be doing, I get more and more pissed off. I'm incapable of actually fixing or being handy whatsoever. And every second that goes by, I just think more and more, I could just be paying some other human that's capable of this to do it. And I could be doing literally anything else in the world. I could be playing golf or video games or eating dinner, and it goes back to cooking. It's the same way with cooking. Why would I spend an hour and a half preparing a meal when I can just pay someone else to fucking do it, and then the meal appears? And I understand budgets and all that, but like this dryer situation, it's like, is that on my deathbed, is that $220 difference? Is that going to matter to anyone on planet Earth?
No.
Anyone? And I'm sure the men who are listening to the show are saying, just fix it yourself. But you know what we are, Riggs? We're jobs creators. We create jobs. If I don't want to do it, I will create a job and pay someone to do it. That's how society works. So I would rather do that, create a job, pay somebody some money, and have it done the right way. Because there's a good chance I'm going to do it the wrong way anyway.
I wish I was
stimulating
handy,
the economy.
To be able to
That's
look at something and be able to fix it with confidence is such a skill. I mean, all the things that I've been doing, like I'm just watching other guys do it, and it's like it's still time consuming because like you got to let them in the house. It's like you got to be there while they're doing it. You got to like make small talk. It feels like if I could just do this myself, it'd be a lot easier. Save a lot of money. Like we have the previous homeowners had closets in this room, and we want to take those closets away, right? We took the doors off. Now there's just two arches in the wall. I just want to knock that part of the wall down. That's all I've said. I've said it to everyone I know. I'm like, I just want to knock this part of the wall down. It never used to be here. They put closets in. I no longer want the closet, so I want that wall gone. And everyone's like, woof. Like, you got to get, this guy over here because you got to spackle the ceiling. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. Like, why can't we just do it? I was arguing with like my fiance's dad about this, and he's just like, someone's got to spack. I'm like, well, someone else is going to come in here and do it. Why can't we do that? You know what I mean? Like, some other human is going to figure out how to knock down this wall. Can we be those humans? Are we capable of being those humans for one day to just knock down that wall?
I don't think you're capable of that, and I think you would agree to that as well.
Yeah, but like at some point, that guy learned how to knock down that wall. He knocked down his first wall ever, and I want to knock down my first wall ever.
But the question becomes, because that's a trade that he has learned, do you want your first wall that you knock down to be inside your house?
I got to get the air on in here. It's starting to get hot. I haven't figured out I'm starting to get red.
But to Frankie's point, don't you ever watch like Property Brothers or these HGTV, and it's like, oh, we're going to renovate the house. They come in with like their buddies and a 12-pack and a sledgehammer, and they just knock down walls. And so Party thinks,
I'm watching
like,
them just like they on Property Brothers or like Fixer Upper, or I've been watching all of these things. Sell It or Love It or Sell It. Like they Love It or List It. It's a great show. They just come in and they just move throughout the house. They're just sledgehammering things and repairing things and drywalling things and spackling things. It's like, we just need to do that for a day. One day. I got to knock this wall down.
So I would say, Frankie, the big concern for you is there's like certain foundational pieces of
this
the
is
wall.
not load bearing. I know all the words. It's
okay, all right, good. So as long as you know that.
Closet.
As long as you
stud finder, you get the stud finder out. You're doing the whole.
We already knocked fucking nails through the thing. It's hollow as shit.
So just take a sledgehammer and just rip it apart.
I agree.
But
I don't want to.
Here's the thing, though. Where the ceiling is inside the closet, and then inside the room that's like finished. there's a wall, and then we're gonna knock that wall down. There's gonna be like a beam's worth of ceiling exposed.
Yeah.
We now have to
Fix that.
spackle that and paint it. But like I heard, if you're not like an elite spackler, you're gonna see like where the
I
mess
spackle
up
for a
was.
summer. It doesn't take much. You basically just
That's like Big Spackle got to you there. They're like trying
that's a crazy sales pitch.
But like
believe
I
someone
agree, like
sold
it's
you
got to
on
be
you
smooth.
can't
You
spackle.
don't want to look up at the fucking ceiling and be like, oh, that's where you knocked the wall down.
I want to be
You know what I
very
mean?
clear that we want you to do this. I also want to say that we want a camera present when you start
No,
knocking
dude.
that wall down.
I
That's
can't.
all that I ask because
Absolutely.
I want you to do. I'm actually surprised that you have this opinion. I thought you would just be like, let's pay somebody to knock that wall down because if the
Paid
wall
too many people too many things to get this house
know.
ready, and I'm sick of it.
But-
like someone's like, yeah, it's gonna be like 3,500, knock that wall down. I'm like, what are you fucking insane? I can just
But-
do what you're gonna do.
All right, but if you do it and then it doesn't look good, you now live in that house for the rest of your life, and you and your fiance are going to look up there and be like, remember when Frankie knocked that wall down and tried to
Oh, if
spackle,
I
and now
fuck
it
up
looks
that
like
wall,
there's
I'll be dead.
a demon coming out of it?
If I knock that wall down the wrong way, I'm not gonna be there to enjoy what happens after it because it's over.
The best is whoever. I send you a bill over $3,500. Take that wall down. You do it because you're like, dude, I'm not paying $3,500, and you just see it. It just looks horrible, just with the spackling. You call that same guy up. He walks in the house. Yeah, you want me to fix that spackle? I saw you take the wall down yourself. $7,000, and you're just like, you know what? Just do it.
Well, you know what? It actually wasn't even set 3,500. It was like $1,000 or like it was just at this point. I'm just
Dude,
like,
take it down
whatever.
yourself, Frankie. It's no big deal.
I might
Get a
just have someone come
sledgehammer.
in and spackle it. That's what I was thinking about doing.
That's
knocking the
fine.
wall
Get a
down
piece of
and have someone else
sandpaper, you
do it.
sand it down, spackle it. You're done.
Dude, channel
You
your inner Rick
$50 of
Ross, put a
supplies.
cowboy hat on, and put it on your Insta stories. Every move that you make.
Figure
We
it
got
out,
to
dude.
we got to talk real quickly about these puppies. Okay,
Dude.
see what I'm holding right here, boys.
Those things got sent to my house the other day. They're insane.
These new G4 Gallivanters, the spring edition. Oh my God. Dude, they got this little brown trim right there. We're talking about houses and how stuff looks nice and classy. I mean, this is like nicer than any room in my house is what they've done with the trimming on these golf shoes right here. These are the Gallivanters from G4. We've been talking G4 for a while because their MG4 Plus series is probably the most comfortable shoe in the world. The same people that make that make these. So these are extremely comfortable too, the Gallivanters, but they got that classier, more old school look. Other companies are literally now copying this look because they're so good. Do yourself a favor, go to g4.com/Fore. You get 10% off your first order today, but they got the new spring colors. I also brought over, the Ghosts.
Love those. Those are so
The
great.
Ghosts of the MG4 Plus series. So g4.com/Fore, you get 10% off. But look, they just reimagined the shoe game. That's what G4 did. The Gallivanters are made from premium pebble full grain leather and a cleat design for optimal on-course traction. They'll keep you planted through your swing and dry on the course for those wet spring days. That's true. You are going to get some wet spring days. So explore the new spring colorways to fit your style and enhance your game on the course. g4.com/Fore, 10% off your first order today. These things are hot. They're hot right now.
Favorite shoe right there, Gallivanters. T-Dot, are you a sneaker guy or are you a Gallivanter guy? I feel like you're more on the sneak side for the G4.
I'm more on the sneaker end, but I'll wear both. But I'm definitely, in terms of that, I'm more of a sneaker guy.
Gallivanters
about you?
to me. Gallivanter, best shoe in the game, I think.
I mean, it is. I agree, but they've got so many good ones and they were gracious enough to send us a bunch, and I wear them all.
They also came out with a gray Gallivanter, and like once I saw that and I opened up that box, I immediately imagined like those gray shoes, blue pants, a gray shirt, maybe a gray and blue hat, blue belt. I'm like, I want to pick out which course I want to wear that outfit to because it's like such an elite, I'm feeling good today outfit. I always do that when I get new apparel. It's like, what course am I going to wear this on? I get really excited about that type of stuff. So once I saw those gray Gallivanters, I knew it was going to be a huge day coming up in the future.
Between TaylorMade and G4, there's no more excitement than a package with one of those two companies' logos on the bag. You get giddy. You're a child on Christmas. It's that exciting when they come, and yeah, their shoes look that good. Kevin Chappell, I was amazed. Kevin Chappell was wearing the sneakers, the MG4s, in play during the Phoenix Open. And, people ask a lot because they don't have the cleats, right? They just kind of have the built-in traction on the bottom. And people ask, like, do you slip a lot? And I'm like, well, Kevin Chappell, who's a G4 guy now, was literally wearing the MG4s during competition on PGA Tour playing for his card. So they figured it out all around the block. Rory One Club video is out. It's taken off. It's doing incredibly well with the numbies, and that makes sense because Rory McIlroy is probably the biggest name in the game, top 2 or 3 biggest names in the game. I guess the biggest name in the game of people that's actually playing now because Phil Mickelson's just not even playing the Masters tournament. But the One Club, Rory chose a 6-iron, played us on like a 440-yard par 4, I believe it was. And we walked up the fairway with him. We told stories. We chit-chatted. We chopped it up. We shot the shit, if you will, and we competed against him. Brendan Ebug did a phenomenal job once again with drone footage. That shot, Frankie, that you described last show when it was just you and I doing a nice duet of everybody walking up the fairway, no cameras around, no carts. It was just 5 dudes strolling up a fairway in Florida. Oh, gave me the feels.
It's an elite video. It's every time you watch that stuff, it reminds you of just like what the hell happened that week or that day. For me, I needed to be reminded of everything that was said because I think I was in another universe as it was happening.
Same.
It's an amazing video. You can just go look at the comments on the YouTube. On the YouTube comment section, just everyone's like, I can't believe Rory is this kind of person. Like he's been a star his entire life. He has no reason, and Trent said this exact thing before, he has no reason to be the person he is. He could just go be the biggest douchebag, tell you to go fuck off, just go ride into the sunset, never play golf again. He's got all the money in the world, but he still continuously shows up day in and day out, grinds at golf. He's amazing at the game, but he's also a better person, which is insane. Like to stumble upon 4 idiots on a tee box at some media day thing and be that attentive and like that caring and like we gain everything from that video. He gains he's just still Rory McIlroy. Right. He's Rory McIlroy if he steps up to that tee box with us or if he doesn't. So like for us, it's life changing. It's 500,000 views in 2 days on YouTube. It's us being like legitimized. It's us being legitimized.
Mate?
Tough word to screw up there, you know what I mean? Just like,
it's us being legitimatized in that world. So, I just want to thank Rory. I know you're listening, and thank you so much for everything you've done for us. And thanks for being so cool, because I know all the viewers and the listeners enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do some more with him because he seems like he's down for it.
Yeah. Since Rory is definitely listening, I want him to know that he could have rolled up on that tee box, told us to line up and spit in each of our faces. We'd have been like, that's awesome. That's probably how I would act if I had a situation like Rory McIlroy has
more than the 6-iron. I might have liked that more than the 6-iron.
I was going to say, I mean, me too. I'm so in love with him that seems like something I'd be into. But the video's great. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched it yet, but I wish I'd played a little bit better in front of Rory McIlroy. But the video is fantastic. The numbers are going crazy.
Daddy. You know what I mean? You were his first student.
Yeah, no, the first video was great for me, and then the second video, me and Rory both had a One Club challenge, and I, for different reasons, but the video's great, and Rory's great. I can't wait to, hopefully we get to do stuff with him in the future. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I imagine we will. He does make everybody feel like you're one of his best friends the entire time that you're hanging out with him, which he has absolutely no reason or obligation to do. So go check that out on our YouTube page, Rory McIlroy One Club. And then again, TaylorMade Golf, we got, thanks to them, we've got another, dozen or so videos that we still have to roll out that we filmed in November.
In the pipeline, I think next week we've got Doc Redman. We all try and attempt a hole-in-one with him. It's an amazing video. Jake Bass.
Still sore from that. I mean,
back is still sore. Then we've, I don't know in any order, but we still have the Robbie Berger, Brilliantly Dumb 4-man scramble coming out.
We're gonna go Doc Redman, Sergio Garcia, Colin Morikawa, Robbie Berger, Matt Wolf.
Give me some excitement, Jake Bass. Give me a little bit of pizzazz here going through this. Let's go, baby.
No, I was trying to think of them. And then we're gonna keep rolling. And then I think then it goes.
Are you trying to keep your voice down for a reason?
I'm in the
office. Do you have a gun to
his
his
head?
head?
Hostage, Jake Bass.
Does he have a gun to his head?
He's
got a gun to his head?
Right here.
He's in the office.
You're on an audio podcast right now. Like, you don't have to whisper. If someone's like, "Hey, Jake's being a little loud," you can be like, But like, if you're being a little loud, if you're
You
being a
can turn
little
your
loud in the
voice up.
office, everyone's like, "Why is Jake being loud?" It's like, "Oh, he's on like the #1 golf podcast on the planet right now. He's just speaking for a second."
And we turned into NPR there for a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
You want
really
me to do a
something.
despot? Do you want me
Maybe
to do a
Oh,
despot?
that's spot on.
Maybe it was a nice
You
change
should
of
do a
pace for the
despot.
listeners.
Let me pull up a transcript of a despot real quick.
I mean, all those videos are great. The Sergio one, I'm excited for all of them, but the Sergio one, people are not going to believe.
No, they're not going to believe that. The fact that he did that, the visuals, just the storyline, everything about that Sergio video is
I'm worried
insane.
for that one.
Yeah, there's a little controversy at the end. I'm sure Lurch will hear a lot about that. So, and he heard it from Sergio right on the spot. Like,
Did he? I haven't seen the video.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right away.
So a lot of fun coming up.
bigger than Sergio.
Doc Redmond won. Like, Doc Redmond's not the biggest name on the tour, but man, every time we're with him, he is
I love
like
Doc.
the coolest dude
Yeah.
ever. Love to see him play well. He's actually been playing pretty well recently. I've seen him, in some leaderboards going into the weekends and just see his name popping up now. So that video is going to be amazing. I think people are going to fall in love with him. I mean, they did last year. He did the One Club Challenge last year with the driver. It was so impressive, like going around the bunker and like chipping it up and almost making a birdie, I think, last year. So yeah, Doc Redmond one next week is going to be amazing. How hilarious is it to have Robbie Berger in the middle of like Colin Morikawa and DJ?
That's
I
us,
love
baby.
it so much. I love those guys so much too. That's going to be such a good change of pace for everybody. Okay, we got quite a bit to get to. We have. I want to go through our Pirates Voyage experience with Frankie, myself, and the Barstool Classic crew. Hannah Cook was there. Phil Mickelson is not playing the Masters tournament. We got the Dell Match Play, which is on right now. I'm watching it. Kiz won 4 and 3 today. Shocking. He always wins there. Bryson with some weird comments about his situation. Not surprising. I want to get Lurch's take on the Bardy retirement. 25 years old. Won three major championships. The last one in Australia. She just absolutely destroyed the field. Didn't lose a set, and then just retires for actually the second time in her career. So we can get to that. But first, we're going to start with a little. From the Gallery. From the Gallery is brought to you by Truly. Okay, Truly Hard Seltzer, which we love, which we are having plenty of on Sunday and Monday at the Barstool Classic. They got all kinds of flavors. Their new stuff, the margarita flavors, are off the charts. Fat Perez, our guy, kept coming over to me going, Riggs, have you tried these margarita flavors that they have at Truly? I go, yeah. No, I've tried them. They're really good. And then they got a lot of the classics, wild berry, black cherry, new twists like the passion fruit, citrus squeeze. There's over 27 flavors of Truly. So there's something for everyone. And you could find Truly Hard Seltzer near you at trulyhardseltzer.com. That's trulyhardseltzer.com. We'll talk a little bit more about them. Truly's only got under 110 calories, plenty of refreshing flavors that will not weigh you down. Every Truly contains only 1 gram of sugar. Frankie and I were part of a Truly commercial the other day, which is going to be coming out.
I can't stop thinking about the audio guy and how Trent would have absolutely fucking lost his shit. Trent would have lost his shit. Basically, Trent. So we have this huge set. I mean, we had actors come down from DC they drove down from DC. The whole thing was hilarious. And like, there were just like, there's extras. There's all these like big lamps and lights. And there's this audio guy that's obviously micing us all up. And he's got the big boom mic and he's a big dude. And he's just like, and everyone's about to say action. Like Rob's about to say action and no one's paying attention to the audio guy. And he goes, I got a plane overhead. I got a plane up ahead. I got a plane in the air. And he's screaming, excuse me, I got a plane up ahead. I got a plane. And he's just screaming, plane up ahead. And we're like, we're screaming at Rob, being like, there's a plane up there, dude. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, because he can hear it a little bit more than us. So like,
oh yeah.
Now all of a sudden we kind of listen. You hear this thing buzzing, bzzz, and we're like, "What a call by this guy!" Little
dude. Also, plane. Me and Frankie were dying, and we kept looking at each other. We wanted to talk about it and like rehash how funny it was, but we're mic'd up, so we literally we couldn't even whisper about how funny it was because he could have just heard us the whole time.
Dude, one of the guarantees of life. Death, taxes, and audio guys being the weirdest people on a set. Every time we go to one of these shoots or, shoot a commercial or whatever, you can always depend on the audio guy bringing a little bit of comedy. Remember the Danielle Kang audio guy where he was... The thing is, and you can't fault them because they're not used to doing golf shoots, so they don't really know how things go or where you can go at what time. And the guy that Danielle Kang shoot was just running like Barry Sanders while people were shooting out of nowhere. And it was, I'm upset that I missed this audio guy, because it would have just been another audio guy that I look at and be like, you guys are so interesting. They're so interesting. We should start bringing audio guys on the show just to interview them. Be like, what's your life like? Because they're very interesting.
Speaking of audio guys, Jake Bass is going to have to do some audio saving there, because I was screaming in this new room. It's just so echoey. I was looking at my levels here. I think I may have had some people drive off the road with how loud that probably was. So apologies if that's not fixed, but wow. I was getting notifications saying you are in the red.
Oh, shit.
So from the gallery, Garrett starts with a very good one. And now that we've got Trent today, he asks a very simple question. He says, is Trent more famous in the golf world or in the bachelor world? And it really got me thinking. And he kind of said, he's like, my first instinct was golf, because what you guys do at golf is more comprehensive with podcasts and YouTube videos and live events and merchandise all over the place. And he was like, but what guy in the bachelor world, outside of people that have been on the show, and not even they have the same staying power, is like as big as Trent is in the bachelor world?
I don't know if I have an answer for that either. My gut says the golf world, but I don't know if that's right. I don't know either. What do you guys think?
I think like name recognition and story and like you being like people actually knowing who you are, I would say that it's golf, but I would think it's golf by a long shot because of how much you're on golf. You're like, we talk 8 hours a week of golf. You're in videos every single week with golf. Like everyone knows your whole story. I think if you're just like asking, if you went across the country and interviewed golf fans and bachelor fans and showed your picture, I think it could be pretty close of people being like, oh, I know who that guy is.
Really?
You know what I mean?
I'd still say with golf by a mile.
I think if you just
so?
like, if it was like one of those like police lineups and like there's like pick the dude from The Bachelor that like grabs the bag, I think like a ton of women across the country be like, it's that dude right there with like the goatee.
I think it's golf, but I'm not confident in that choice.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think it's golf, but I wouldn't feel comfortable placing a hefty wager on it. I would be uncomfortable.
I think
you're pretty big in The Bachelor. People throw bras at this man. Mm-hmm. Bras from around their boobies. They throw them at Trent.
Yeah, no, that's still surreal.
Boobies are awesome too. You're just dealing with a ton of boobies are sick.
Fucking the coolest.
You know,
they're great.
There's
so
no two ways
fun
about it.
I think it's golf. I think just generally, like, this podcast is obviously huge and our YouTube is huge and all that. And I do think the Breaking 100 thing probably put it over the top. Just the way that the reactions I got from it. And I mean, we would go to every golf tournament we would go to, either before I did it or after, and they'd be like, you know, rooting for you to break 100 or congratulations on breaking 100. When we go to golf tournaments, it's honestly hard to like decipher what is like, because at golf tournaments, people just know who we are because they're golf fans, and that's all people in one area who love golf, and we're in the golf world. So I don't know. I think it's golf, but again, I'm not confident in that. It's nice to be a part of both worlds, quite honestly.
True. Yeah. I mean, it's a great sign. It's a great argument to be a part of. You should be obviously happy that you're part of that. Michael says, would you rather have Tiger's cell phone or Tiger has your cell phone number?
Wait,
what?
Do I have his actual cell phone?
No, sorry. You have.
I want that.
Well, yeah, that would be amazing. Would you rather have Tiger's cell phone number or him have your cell phone number?
Well, I would rather have his, because if he has mine, that number is never getting used. And I don't, not even saying that if I have his.
He took the time to save it down, which is crazy. Even if he doesn't call you. Like, yeah, you could somehow get Tiger's, but you could just be a stalker. But the fact that, like, you're a saved entity where it says T Daddy Ryan in Tiger's phone, like, that's pretty cool.
T Daddy Ryan.
I'll always remember, no, every time I get a message from Joey LaCava, I got one the other day just in the middle of the night. And it was like, he was just talking about, I forgot what he said, but or congratulations or something. Did you get a house or something like that? I was like, thanks, Joe LaCava. You know what I mean? It's just like every time I get that message, it's always like, wow, this just came from the Tigerverse. And it always just drives me crazy. I'm kind of staring at my phone being like, maybe he's with Tiger right now. He talked to Tiger today. It's just like that Tigerverse to me is like the coolest thing on the planet. Yeah, I think I'd rather have the number though, because then you could always just, you know, you can make a mistake, send him a drunk text or something. It's a little more exciting. You're never.
Would you ever use it though? Would you ever actually use it?
I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
know.
I have some numbers in my phone just from the pizza review days that like the fact that they're in there are hilarious, and like I'd never send a message, or like I should just delete them because I'm never going to send a message to, why would I send a message to like Andrew McCutcheon or like, you know what I mean, like the most random athletes and celebrities of all time. I'll always remember, dude, for some reason Andrew McCutcheon did not use like a person. He just like came to the pizza review, and I gave him the wrong address. I gave his team or him, whoever it was at the time that I didn't know I was dealing with him. I gave this number an address, and the pizza place was not open that day. So all of a sudden, I'm like, fuck, like now we're deciding that we're going to a new place. Andrew, I don't know if this is Andrew McCutcheon's like agent or whatever. All of a sudden, my phone starts ringing from that number that I had been dealing with. And he goes, hey, Frankie. I was like, hey. He's like, it's Andrew McCutcheon. I was like, oh, shit. He's like, I'm outside this place. It says it's like a Chinese food place. It's definitely not a pizza place. I'm like, I know, dude. I fucked up. You got to come to this spot. He's like, fuck, Frankie. He's just like, you suck. And then just like came to this pizza place. We ate at the worst pizza place ever. It was one of those like, it had everything in it types of places. And then that night he played against the Yankees and like dropped a fly ball and like left the game early, and he absolutely had food poisoning. Like, I remember like the announcer's like, whoa, Andrew McCutcheon's looking real sluggish out there in center field. And I'm watching the game like, oh shit. Yeah.
I think Lurch has got a great point that the process of Tiger getting your number and saving it is far cooler than him, like me having his, because like one of you guys said that I could have just stalked him somehow and like figured out a way to get it. But the thing is does either person in that scenario use the number? And it's probably no. So
no. And so for that sole purpose, there's a chance that he scans it one time or in 5 years was like, oh yeah, that guy T-Daddy. Because if you have his number, he's never thinking of you. So when Frankie talks about like the Tiger universe, like there's a chance if he has your number that he thinks about you.
like
You're
the way
already
Frankie thinks
thinking
about
about
Andrew
Tiger.
McCutcheon.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're already thinking about Tiger. Even if you have his number, I mean, Frankie says, like, maybe I'll make a mistake and drunk text him. Like, that, then the next thing you see is, like, either your phone blows up or you just see, like...
No, but the only reason I brought that up is because, like, then... Because we're never hearing from Tiger if he has our number. My point is, like, if I have his, at least there's another shot of communication, whether it be a mistake, whether it be, like, incoherently just making a decision or, like, whatever. But I have a line to Tiger regardless of the scenario. That was my point, is, like, I could reach him if I wanted to. I'm not saying what the result's going to be, but I could get his phone to ring and his attention for 2 more seconds than I would if he had my number.
I personally would not put a drunk text / call in the pro category. I would put that in a con. If I had that, then like you get with your buddies and you know, somebody mentions or you mention like, oh, by the way, Frankie's got Tiger's number. And then the whole night is about getting Frankie to send a drunk text to Tiger Woods, and that is a place that I don't think I want to be.
I know you don't want to be there. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, when we're all in the dirt, did I alert Tiger of my being for 1 more second than I would have had I not have his number? You know what I mean? Like, did I make him? Did I change his life even for a second by sending a message? He had to read it. He had to like say, what is this? And like he did. He actively did things regarding me. So I don't know.
You like got in his way on the street and made him move. That's more than enough.
Yep. That's how much I like that guy.
Yep.
I still like my answer to be that I want his cell phone because, and I'm sure everyone does, because I was thinking about like myself personally, or I'm sure you guys feel this way too. Like I would rather give someone my left arm than give them my cell phone.
If I give you my cell phone, I know I'm looking down the street and sirens are coming down to see, you know what I mean? Like just like everything that's on there. Like,
and I don't even think there's anything
history.
Particularly bad on there, but I know that
there's some naughty things on that phone, Ryan.
My cell phone's mine.
Yeah. Whoa, I just got blurry. I've been in hotel rooms next to Trent hearing himself throw himself across the walls one too many times to know that phone needs to stay in that pocket.
True.
If you could take
I
off
agree with
all
Lurch.
the data from someone's phone, that thing's the reason that everybody says, like, you don't just say phone, it's like, that's my phone. Oh, that's your phone. It's like they are possessive items and they're made to be kept without
It's an extension of you. It's an extension of you. This
might as well be a chip in your forehead. It knows so much about you.
This thing knows more about me than anyone. It is me. This thing is me.
It scans your face to let you in.
Yes.
Right. It not only, like, you can know things about someone just by knowing them, whatever, you're friends with them or whatever, but this thing knows the way that I interact with everyone. It knows everything about
structure.
every relationship that, like, every friendship that I have. It knows the way we it's just, I'd give up both legs before I'd give up my phone. Just no way.
Would you give up your eyesight for someone to take your phone?
Bro. You
just
can't have my phone. You just can't have my phone.
No.
So it's like, give me your phone and you get to see forever, or you keep it and we're turning the lights off.
I mean, if somebody got to take your phone, like a committee, and then they got to, like, go through it for, a month, and then they got to publish, like, Wilson report of what's on your phone. Would that be the worst thing would that be the most embarrassing thing that could happen?
And it's not just for us, it's for every person on the planet.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
No,
like, we're
totally.
People who are listening are probably thinking, like, what do these psychos have on their phone? But put yourself in those shoes, you'd be mortified. You'd be mortified because there's things in there that I've forgotten about that would be put on the PowerPoint, and I'd be like, fuck me, man. That sucks that's up there right now. So it's like, yeah, everybody feels that way.
Dude, even like the way that you talk to like your parents, like, oh, dinner's ready. Thank you, mommy. Or so, like, whatever. I don't want any of that stuff online. Like that. Right. Like, I don't want any of that stuff online.
You don't have to take my eyesight, but you can take my life. You can just take me out of the equation altogether because you just can't. You can't have my phone. Like Lurch said, my phone is mine.
Yeah. And then Frankie had a great add-on to that line of, it scans your face to let you in. I mean, those things are possessive, and you're going to want to keep those by your side.
It's fucked up to say, but this thing knows more about me than I know about myself. Because there's things in there that have just, they're gone, and I said them, and I forgot that I even said them, and I'm just the current version of me that can only hold so much data.
Bro,
this thing has like a terabyte of data that it can keep, and it is constantly recording and just marking everything down.
It remembers everything you've ever done. It knows exactly where you're going. Like, that wall I want to knock down, the other day I was talking about it, and my phone was in my pocket. I go to my phone, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, click on Facebook, and there's all these things. It's like inserts for a brand new wall, like things that now I can put on this wall that I'm expecting to knock down. It was fucking horrifying. And I know we've talked about this at length on this podcast, but like, it was oddly specific. It was like, do you just knock down a wall? Here's what you could put up on this brand new spackled wall. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I know that there's some sort of like office where guys were talking like, oh, Frankie's about to knock down a wall, but let's hit him with all the inserts of like in all the cabinets and all. It was
problem
crazy.
is it's not even an office. It just does it automated. It just does it. Like there's robots
that's
that
even
just
scarier.
did that
Yeah.
a billion times faster than any human being could do. Have you guys ever had somebody's trying to get into your phone, turn the phone towards your face and so that like I've had people do it only from because I'm always, not always, a lot of times I'm plugged up to the music. And somebody like will try to change music when you're at like your apartment or your house or something. And people can be so savvy, which is terrifying. And I don't know what information these people try to acquire from other human beings by doing this. But I have somebody just literally like tilt the phone towards my face and hold it at the right length. And it just unlocks the phone.
It's
and
horrifying.
I was like,
that's like some CIA shit.
Well,
I
like,
just wanted
if
to
you
die. I
pass
was like,
out,
just
like,
kill me.
if you pass out and you're like, you're hanging out with someone and they want to take your phone and they want to like look into your phone, they could basically, I mean, with a thumb, you could be able to just take someone's thumb while they're passed out, put it on the phone, and now they're in the phone.
I actually did that move the other day.
What?
To one? Well, no, the face thing, because the person was driving. The person was driving, and like they got like a text, and they're like, "Oh, can you read that?" And I couldn't open the thing, so I put the phone in front of their face and it unlocked, and I was like,
crazy.
"Oh, it was like your mom."
Can you read that? Even that just made me want to run out
I know.
into the street.
I know.
You got a text. I got a text. Can you read that? Like, fuck no.
Who are these people that are just okay with like their phones being? Yeah.
If I was sitting next to Trent, I was like, "Hey, Trent, you just got a text message from the name X. Can I read it?" Or something like.
Be like, well, now we got to fight. You and I got to fight to the death if that thing opens. So.
So Phil Mickelson will not be playing in the Masters tournament. I want to get everybody's thoughts on that. I thought pretty surprising. I thought that Phil would probably make his return there. I thought he would do a press conference similar to Tiger in 2010, where he was able to be grilled. And yes, it is exposing, but at the end of the day, it's Augusta National. The fans are going to be receptive because they're patrons. They're so respecting and respectful at the Masters, and Augusta can kind of protect them because it's the least invasive place. There's barely any media allowed inside the ropes. People can't have cell phones. So I thought it'd be kind of a no-brainer. He's got an unreal track record at Augusta. He's won there 3 times. I think he's finished top 10, 15 times. I think he's finished top 5 like 11 times or something. And he hasn't missed the Masters really in 30-something years. He's played it. Surprising, I thought, that he's not playing the Masters.
I was definitely surprised, and I think it's a misstep by Phil. I think this makes it a even bigger deal. Like, it's one thing to miss the players, and that made sense because that's the PGA Tour's crown jewel, and it would have been really odd if he had showed up there and Jay Monahan's there, and it's like, this is too weird. Skipping the Masters made everyone have the same reaction that we're all having right now, or at least Riggs and I, where it's, holy shit, this is a big enough deal where he's going to miss the Masters now. Like, I don't think people had thought about it that way, and then he puts that into people's brains, and now it becomes an even bigger deal. Now it's even more silence, and now it's just another storyline where, wow, it's another Phil storyline where it's like, man, he missed the Masters. That's a huge deal. So I think it's a misstep by him, because if you just go, like Riggs is saying, you're going to get grilled, and that's going to happen, but like, at least you're there and you're answering questions and you can at least defend yourself a little bit. Maybe you have to cower. You got to tuck tail and be like, I made so many mistakes over these last few months that, I can't even wrap my brain around it. But you at least have to go, show your face, participate. Otherwise, what's going to happen is what's happening now, where people are saying, this is such a huge deal that Phil Mickelson is missing the biggest golf tournament in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the other side is that he's staying out of the limelight, but I just think now when he comes back, it's just going to be like massive, and like, who is this alien creature that's in front of us? Like, I think there's going to be such a finite view of him when he comes back, and so much speculation over what transpired, especially if he doesn't share much, that, I don't know, I go back and forth, like on some smaller stuff, or, when you don't go, I guess, international, sometimes it's great to be out of the limelight for a while because people just forget and go on to the next thing. But so I think in this one, that strategy just doesn't work because the Masters is bigger than like almost him in this whole thing.
Yeah, totally.
So I understand his decision, but I think it's definitely the wrong. If this was, players and other items, I think that's the right play. But the Masters is like, you just have to play in that and you can stay out of everything else.
He could almost blend in at the Masters. I mean,
yes,
he'll be a storyline, but he could blend in more. It's more about the course and the field. Everybody's so hyped up for the Masters that him being there and doing his press conference would just be one of the, 1,000 storylines that everybody is excited about.
Right.
Yeah, this escalates things times a billion to me. I think it's bad for one press conference. Half an hour of his experience at Augusta is all answering questions, like doing a press conference, having to feel awkward, saying you apologize, moving on from the thing, and then just playing. Like, he ends up, 20th in the field after the first day, and like no one's really talking to him. They're talking about John Rahm and Rory McIlroy and whatever. Like, they're just talking about the guys who were competing. It's the Masters. No one cares about the fucking drama. I would think that the only people on the planet that can suppress the drama is Augusta National. So, yeah, I think this is definitely escalating things to a level where he's just like, I don't know how he's gonna come back in a normal way now at this point. Like it's just gonna be super awkward.
It makes it very real. It makes it really real. Like
because now you can just speculate, like, how bad is it? Like, where is he going? Is he playing now with the other guys? Like, is he going to go with Greg Norman? Has he just completely is he never playing ever again on the PGA Tour? Like, now we just don't know. We're able to ask these questions now for weeks on weeks now on end.
Yeah, and if he had missed almost no time, it could have been. I think he could have gotten away with a storyline of like, oh yeah, Phil made a couple crazy comments, but like life went on as normal. He's part of the tour. It's totally fine. Whereas now he's stepping away from the game of golf to reflect on the things that he's said and done. And he's had poor judgment and he missed the Masters tournament for the first time in his life. That becomes like a scandal. Now it went from a little bit of bad PR that he could maybe salvage to, I mean, it's scandalous. So much so that he had to miss the biggest tournament in the world.
Another reason he should have committed is the off chance that Tiger Woods plays in the Masters. And then you are just the second story. And then nothing else matters if Tiger Woods commits after you commit. You know what I mean?
Then it's forgotten. Then you're through. Because all you're trying to do is get through that tidal wave. And it's like,
that's
okay,
right. And
it's calm after that.
Right. We can discuss whether or not we think Tiger's actually going to play. But if in that situation, there's two situations. You commit if you're Phil, and then you just you get beat up during a press conference, but not that bad because it's Augusta. Or you commit and Tiger commits, and then nobody gives a fuck what's going on with Phil that week because Tiger is making his dramatic return. So I would have committed either way.
I couldn't agree more. I thought it was a weird move. I'm very surprised. Something more is going on. It's got to be deeper. It's got to be more real, and hopefully we'll figure it out. I might be able to figure it out using Sling TV. Okay, if you're worried about where to watch the big tournament or where to catch the news, if something does come to light that sheds more information on this situation, it kind of mixed up those two words. It is time that you get Sling. It's the cheapest way to watch college basketball, Golf Channel. You can watch exclusive Barstool content like the Brandon Walker Show, Foreplay, the Travel Series, the TaylorMade Series, the Scramble Series. You can watch Kelly Keegs' The Other Line, Bench Mobs, Bracket Buzz. Sling is the place where your favorite sport channels like ESPN, Fox Sports 1, TNT, and more come together for less. Golf Channel on there. I'm watching it right now on my Sling TV right in front of my face. Sling is easy to set up, easy to use. There's no contracts. You sign up now. Try it absolutely free. Okay, you can try it for free, whatever you're into. Sling is where you can find the live sports you love all in one place. We love Sling. We cut cord a long time ago. We started talking about it in the show. Cut the cord, boom. Great decision. Go to sling.com/barstool. Sign up now. Try it for free. That is sling.com/barstool. Sign up now and try it for free. Okay, I had something interesting came across my radar here that I would like to share. So, obviously the Ukraine situation, Russia, all over the real news. We don't really do real news around here, but I have something that I would like to allow any Ukrainian students out there in the United States of America. The MGA Foundation, which is the Metropolitan Golf Association, has partnered with Met Area Clubs and announced a unique opportunity through GolfWorks, its flagship internship program for Ukrainian students currently enrolled in American colleges and universities. This initiative, spearheaded by Paramount Country Club, Springbrook Country Club, Hollywood Golf Club, Ridgewood Country Club, Mountain Ridge Country Club, Somerset Hills, Morris County, Trump Bedminster, Navesink, and Shelter Island Yacht Club, will aid stateside refugees who do not have a home country to return to this summer, while also meeting the demand of seasonal employment at Met Area Clubs. So essentially, these clubs will be offering Ukrainian students who don't have anywhere to go this summer because obviously their country is under attack, jobs and internships, paid internships in all kinds of club operation, including but not limited to grounds, turf crew, golf services, wait staff, kitchen, office, etc. Unbelievably cool program that these people are putting together to try to provide shelter, jobs, home opportunity this summer for people that are basically going to be displaced when they're supposed to go home for the summer. So really awesome program came across my radar. It's available to, again, Ukrainian national students currently enrolled at accredited colleges, universities in the United States, set to begin by employing students this summer. For Met Area Clubs interested in participating in this program, contact Johanna Gavin, MGA Foundation at Gavin, so it's JGAVIN at mgagolf.org. If you're interested, you can also contact Rob Wolf at rwolf07712 at gmail.com. So go contact those folks. If you're listening to this, if you know people that, that are Ukrainian fellow students of yours that are panicking, they're not really going to know where to go in a few months, depending on how this situation unfolds, check out this whole situation. Phenomenal program. We've been trying to think about ways to help, and you're trying to donate money to help refugees in the Ukrainian crisis. But golf and the Ukraine situation and the MGA coming together and trying to help people. So obviously a great cause.
It's awesome. Navasing's actually a local country club to me. I've got some friends that are members over there, so shout out those guys. That's
awesome.
A
lot of Jersey spots in that list of clubs. The match play. I'm watching the match play right now. Kiz won 4-3 today. He defeated Mark Leishman. I love watching this golf course. We talk about it every year, but Austin Country Club plays so cool and unique. They have it all shaved down all over the place, so there's basically no rough. The ball kind of bounds and rolls and caroms all around, which you don't see week to week. They got that cool-ass par 5 with the bridge in the background. People are always out there on the weekend in their boats boozing. Then they got that short par 4 where you can try to go for the green, hit the back stands is what a lot of people do. They've got some really cool elevation change. Austin Country Club. It's just a fun tournament to watch, and it's match play, so it's completely different. So I'm just telling everyone that I'm excited to watch golf this weekend.
Yeah, every time this tournament comes around, and I'm sure you could go back now, we've been doing this podcast for years. Every time we talk about this tournament during this week, we say we want more events like this. We want more match play events like this. Like, it's so much fun to watch because it's so different than what we normally see week to week on the PGA Tour that, it's just fun to watch because you're watching guys play a different style. You're watching guys, pick up when they get in trouble, and like I don't know, something about just something different is better when this week happens. And I don't know if they'll end up doing more. I don't know what the plan is. We never know, but this is always a fun week just because it's different. It's not the same week to week.
Yeah, it's more in comparison to like your weekend game too, where you say like you just pick up. You know what I mean? So it's like more to like what we're used to. But yeah, different games that are played. It's fun to show something off the PGA Tour, just how low you can go. We say this every year, but I saw something actually interesting on Instagram we can maybe talk about is like Nelly and Rom were on a picture together of like a mixed doubles. You asked me like my take on Ash Barty and things like that, but any and all ideas and bringing the LPGA and the PGA Tour together, I think that could be interesting. I just think there's a lot of things that golf can do, so it's not every week just try to get to 20 under because that should probably do it. It's different, which is awesome.
I think Rom made a comment that he said we should have more mixed doubles events. But I could be wrong about that, but I thought that was a John Rahm quote. Yeah.
It was just he and Nelly in the photo, but yeah.
Right.
It was from him.
Maybe a guy like that saying something like that will get the ball moving a little bit faster than
that'll happen eventually, right? It feels like there's been enough momentum the last few years. There's got to be a mixed tournament in professional golf, like a legitimate one with world ranking points and FedEx Cup points and a PGA Tour size purse for everyone. That there has to be, right?
Definitely. And it's different, when the 488s on this podcast say it, and then when, the number one golfer in the world says it. So hopefully...
That's weird.
It's a touch different. I wouldn't say it's, all that different, but it's a little different. So hopefully that gets it moving.
And golf's the game you could do it. Like, like other games we talk about, like you play the golf course. So golf's like a game that would just fit the bill of goods and should be, honestly. I think like first that tennis does mixed doubles, but there's definitely men play at a I guess a heavier and probably harder pace than women do. So it's not like a perfect fit. It works, but I think in golf would be an excellent fit.
So the latest with Bryson DeChambeau, he'll be returning. He is returning right now this week for the first time in a long time. He announced that he has been away from competitive golf for nearly 2 months. He's recovering from a fractured bone in his left hand and a torn labrum in his left hip. He went on to say, people are going to say it's off of speed training and all that. Sure, some of the things have been just a part of that. Just abuse and working really, really hard, the big hitting golfer said. That's a great way to describe him. The big hitting golfer.
Good name.
I mean, it sounds like the
monster said.
I mean, yeah, the big hitting golfer said.
It sounds like it's out of like a child's book. Like I read to my nieces from time to time. It sounds like it's like out of a child's book. We're like, and here comes the big hitting golfer behind the trees. It's like, okay.
Good luck, big boy, the big hitting golfer said. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
fucking crazy.
He could write a child. That could be a good child's book that he could write. The Big Hitting Golfer by Bryson DeChambeau.
Totally true.
Probably will too. Like the trajectory he's on, he's always doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
He went on, the big hitting golfer said, but at the same time, I wouldn't have traded it for anything. I've learned so much about my body as time has gone on and learned how to manage things and how important. He went on in terms of talking about his preparation and the Masters and all that. Am I going fully at it? No, not even close. I won't be able to go at it until probably Augusta.
At least he's accepting that the training that he puts his body through is at the very least a factor in his injuries, because I think for a while there, the media and Bryson DeChambeau were at a standstill. Basically, the media waiting for Bryson to get hurt so they could say, oh, it's because of the crazy training you've been doing. And Bryson, for the longest time, seemed to want to not say that because he was like, I don't want to give them the satisfaction or whatever. But it's clearly going to affect him. Like, these things aren't happening in a vacuum. If you do the type of training that he does, and we see the videos on Instagram, on his Instagram story, where he is just mashing balls for hours and days and months, he has a human body, as much as he probably doesn't want to admit. That's going to get worn down and you're going to get hurt. That's what happened. I think we would all agree that it held up for longer than we all thought. I thought after a month of lifting, protein shakes, hitting a million balls, a million miles per hour every day, I thought he was going to be hurt within the first 1 to 2 months. But it lasted for a while. He won a U.S. Open. He kind of changed the game in a way. Rory can attest to that. And overall, it has worked, but it's nice to see him admitting that, like, yeah, when you do what I do, you're going to tear a labrum in your hip probably.
Yeah, the sustainment is crazy. How it just, like, it doesn't pan out. Like, because when he won that U.S. Open, you had, like, Matt Fitzpatrick and guys that were like, yeah, I mean, like, if you change your body, like, I could get close or whatever. You're just saying these crazy lines because we live in such, like, a moment. It's so hard to look at, like, an aggregate view. But there's just no way that pans out, you know, over time, or is never proved to be, where you make those bodily changes to yourself. It's like, it's just an impossibility. And yeah, the big hitting golfer is just an interesting side story. Just day in, day out, that guy, you just don't know what you're going to get from him.
I think it would have been different too if he didn't have the frame that he has. Because I remember, Riggs, when we first saw him in person at the Zurich Classic 100 years ago, when we eventually, well, the PJ, we won't get into that. But when we saw him,
we got banned from that tournament.
I think we are banned from that tournament. But when I first saw him, I was like, oh, he's got the body of a linebacker. Like he's got the frame where you can put muscle and weight onto it.
He's a big boy.
If he had the body like Matthew Fitzpatrick, no shots, but like he just doesn't have the frame to do that. Some people can put on weight, some people can't. I think the injury would have come sooner if he tried to put it on a frame that couldn't sustain. What?
It only goes to my face and my gut.
Right, like if you tried to put that weight on and you tried to drive a golf ball 350 yards, you'd be hurt within a week.
Yeah.
So
I got a little hip flexor thing going from moving a mattress yesterday.
Right. So
I felt that and I couldn't move. It was like the guy in the pizza review that threw his back out.
Oh, one of the funniest videos ever to grace the internet. But
this place is good, huh? Oh.
And you're like, Dave's like, what? And you're like, I think he threw his back out. And it's the timing is impeccable. But yeah, Bryson, you're hurt, and that's what's gonna happen. Frankie, you're blurry.
Frankie's always had kind of camera issues, eh?
I do. It's a fucking nightmare. Bryson actually put out, Sir Nick Faldo put out a pretty good golf video the other day. It just caught my eye on Instagram, and it was just like him and Bryson using one club on the range, trying to hit to a specific number without like a rangefinder. So like, I guess like I didn't see what Bryson had. I didn't have the audio on for the beginning, but like maybe it was a pitching wedge, and they were both trying to hit exactly 150 yards. And then with the same club, they were trying to hit 160 yards. And the closest to that, just like with their internal yardage in their brain. So then they were like discussing like, well, now how do you go from 150 to 160? And Bryson had like, all right, I take it to 10:30 and that's it. He does the clock system. I take it to 10 o'clock. He goes, I know my 10 o'clock goes 160. So if I'm trying to go 165, I go just a little bit above 10 o'clock. It was super interesting. And then Sir Nick Faldo does the clock system as well, but he's a little more old school unorthodox, or maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's more feel. So like Sir Nick was like, for this one, I'm going to go 10 o'clock and then I'm going to wrap it around my neck. And then like when he wanted to hit at 145, Sir Nick was like, I'm going to go 9 o'clock and I'm going to chicken wing it out, because that's how I get that that's how I take those less 5 yards off. And you could kind of tell Bryson was like, well, I don't even know what that means. But like, it was funny, like Sir Nick's over the ball and he's like, all right, I'm just going to take it back to 9 and then I'm going to chicken wing out. And he does it and it goes like 146. It was pretty interesting, like how different one guy's swing is because he's a robot, and the other guy's swing is because he's just got that feel over the years. He knows if he just yanks his left arm, it goes that way. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like different
that's the same that we
philosophies.
talked about. Yeah, we talked about that with Tiger video, the TaylorMade thing, where he's like Jason Day and him, where Jason Day was like, dude, talk to us like you're a human being. Because Tiger's like, yeah, just slow my hands down. And Jason Day was like, what are you doing out here? How did you get your way to Earth?
Yeah, when Faldo was like, I wrap it around my neck to get that extra 10 yards.
Great line.
I was like, I don't know. There was one shot too that Bryson hit that they were going for like 160, and right when Bryson made contact, he goes, oh boy, that's on the money. And it drops, and he looks back and goes, was that like 161? And they're like, yup, 161. He just knew, and that was fucking horrifying.
So
like,
good.
if you hit a golf shot, if I gave you a 7-iron, and I was like, all right, hit it, and then in the air tell me the distance of that ball, I don't know that you'd come within 8 yards if I give you 5 tries.
You're just going to say your stock number. You're just going to be like, yeah,
right.
185 to 190.
But I still think, I think if you usually hit your 180, I think you're hitting that thing like 171 or like, you know what I mean? There's no chance you knew. There's no chance you knew.
These guys are just different. It's not the same thing. But in the Rory video that we just put out, when we asked him, didn't we ask him like, what's the yardage there? And we like made him guess, and he was like a couple of yards off. Like I mean, they've just seen it over and over and over again, and it's different, but it's similar in that like they just know everything that's going on at all times, and they can just eyeball it.
Right. Yeah, because he said, I think it was right when he stepped off the tee, he was like, because I think he hit a 6-iron like 240 out of the gate or something like that. Because it was downwind and he made a guess on it. I think that's where it was. Because then he only had, 190 in. He kind of shortened it up and then pulled it a little left. But it's crazy. I mean, yeah, it shows you what practice does, because the boys in this room are not practicing the game of golf.
Nope, not even close. Owen's Craft Mixers, okay? We know Owens. We know Owens incredibly well. Owens gives anybody the ability to make a high-quality cocktail right at home. I'm actually going to pick up some Owens after we record this podcast so I can make a few cocktails this weekend. It's perfect for folks like us who do not have a clue how to make cocktails from scratch. We spoke earlier about how we really don't have a clue how to make anything or how to fix anything, how to create anything.
This is something that comes assembled, Frankie. Owens.
It does. And
True.
They've looked at the production chain and like why people get so frustrated, and it's leaked into our martini making and our cocktail drinks. They've realized that they're going to do the work. We're just going to pour. All right. Like they got too out of hand. We had to get all these sorts of like ingredients and the limes and the coconuts and everything. And no, I'm just going to get a can that's been perfectly produced with the perfect amount of ingredients in there already done for me. It's Owens Mixers.
Just add Owens, baby. That's the tagline. Just add Owens. You pour in your favorite liquor, and then you just add Owens. It is that simple. Majority of stadiums and arenas across the country have Owens. You can go to owensmixers.com, check out the store locator to find a store that has Owens near you. Or if you don't feel like getting off the couch, order on Amazon, get it delivered in less than 30 minutes on GoPuff. I actually used the store locator on owensmixers.com earlier, found that it's at a Harris Teeter grocery store, 1.4 miles away. I'm going to go pick it up right after this. So the store locator clearly works. owensmixers.com. Just add Owens. Great product. The Barstool Transfusion. All kinds of other good mixes that will deliver a delicious cocktail. Bardy Retires. Okay, I want to talk about this. Not a tennis podcast, but Lurch has been tweeting up a storm about it. He's been posting that video of her hitting a shot when we were down at the President's Cup in Melbourne, Australia. 25 years old. completely dominant, clearly the best player in the world, number one ranked player in the world. Just won the most recent major a few weeks ago or a few months ago, the Australian Open in her home country, which was emotional and super cool. Dominated the field, didn't lose a set the entire time. One of the easiest Grand Slam major wins in tennis history, and then just fucking retired.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's just, yeah, go ahead. 25-year-old, number one in the world. I'm done.
Well, I got a question because that'll lead you into more of an explanation. That can you give a comparison to a different sport? Like, what would this be like if it happened in, golf or basketball or hockey? Like that's because I don't know anything about tennis, really. I would just like to get some sort of gauge on the gravity of this retirement.
Yeah, it's a good question. Because she's not like the most dominant player of all time, but she's number one in the world at 25. So it's like an Eric Lindros who had like a, I don't know, that's actually probably
Trent, I would say it'd be like Jordan Spieth in like 2016 or something when he won the Masters in 2015 and then won the U.S. Open, and then a year or two later he wins the British Open. He's got 3 majors. He's like the hottest thing in the sport, and then he just retired.
That's a huge deal. That would have been a massive deal.
Yeah. I would say that's pretty darn close. Like, I think that's actually a pretty good comparison. She has done this, I think earlier in her career, she retired and played, I want to say cricket for maybe 18 or 20 months. And then came back and lit the world on fire in like a year. She was back inside the top 20, went on a tear of majors. I just looked, she earned like over $23 million. She's 25 years old. She's got the whole world in front of her. She's accomplished kind of everything that you could in the game of tennis. And then I would say the thing about tennis that's exhausting is your court. Like, do you ever have any buddies that were on the swim team and they just kicked in the pool for just felt like an eternity? And it's like, what'd you do today? Like, we kickboarded from like 4 a.m. to 8. Now I'm at school. Like, that's a little bit like tennis where you need to be on court all the time, where you're hitting backhand down the line, then cross court. I think they say there's like 180 shots or something like in tennis that you have to master. And so it's a complete grind. It's wild. Like I loved her because she was definitely an athlete brought into the tennis world. So it was just fun to watch her play, and she just grinded through it. But it's a crazy leap. You think of someone in 25 that just wants to like get on top. And we talked to somebody not long ago. It's like, it's hollow once you're on top. Like, you achieve all this. It might have been actually Trevor Immelman, where it's like you get to the top and then it's like, what's at the top of the mountain? And then you actually realize that like you don't feel like continually fulfilled by that mission. And so maybe it's some of that. I think there'll be more to come on like what she wants to do next. But yeah, it was fun watching her play. Maybe she'll return down the road. She doesn't have a U.S. Open singles title, so we'll see.
I was texting with our resident Barstool tennis expert last night, Eric Hubbs, because I was just stunned by this. It caught me, came across my Twitter radar, and I said, "Holy, wait, what?" So I text Hubbs, got a little more information, and he was saying she retired back in 2014. She was very young before any success. She was just basically couldn't really handle the whole thing as she was becoming pretty big. And again, this is 2014, so it's 8 years ago. So she's 25 now. She's 17-ish then. He said this is totally different. She's 25, unanimous best player in the world, number one for 3+ years straight, annihilated everybody at the Aussie a few months ago. $24 million she's made, and that's not counting endorsements from Australia. He said she's like LeBron over there in Australia. She's massive. And then said she's got a press conference today, so maybe she said some more today. But he thinks ultimately she just didn't want to travel anymore and was burnt out, to Lurch's point, of just like, no, I'm just all set. I'm just all set.
All right, so she's 25 years old, might have $50 million in the bank, and it's just like, I'm out of here. Like, that is...
And that's fine.
Right, and most people wouldn't do that because... the people who get to those heights are so competitive and so driven that they don't even care about the money. They don't care about the accolades. They just want to dominate and beat everybody. But every once in a while, somebody's going to come along where they have all those skills and they are at least partially competitive. They're going to accumulate a ton of wins and a ton of money and then be like, oh, I'm out of here. See you later. I don't have to do anything for the rest of my life that I don't want to do. And that is going to be a fucking amazing life for her if that's what she wants to do.
Yeah, it's amazing that people don't do it more often. How the
Right.
athletes don't just do this. We talk about it all the time. Like, why is Tiger even still playing golf? He's putting himself through crazy amounts of pressure and strain and agony and pain to be able to just come back and golf. It's because he literally can't do anything else. It's his whole life. That's why he is Tiger Woods. And for her, she just doesn't love the game, apparently, like as much as these other people do. And like, she's retired twice. She's only 25 years old. That's not someone that's committed to the game as other people are. She's been committed to get to the level that she's at. She's the greatest in the world. She's dominated her sport, but you can't argue that she loves that game as much as the person that plays until they're 60 is. You know what I mean? There's no chance. She's retired every chance she's gotten. I mean, it's like it's a retirement tour for her every 3 years. So I mean, like, we can't feel bad about that part. Like, she's just probably going to come back and retire another time. Like, if we're doing the math, like 10 more years come down the line, she plays at the Aussie Open, then retires again. We're all just like, ah, shit, here she goes again. But good for her, and she has a shit ton of money. It's amazing that people don't do this more often. Like, I don't all the time.
I don't agree. I actually don't agree with that.
I do. When I see athletes getting absolutely shit on by like Russell Westbrook right now, his day to day fucking sucks. They're like throwing things at him. He's like crying in like post-game press conferences saying, stop being mean to me. Like, my kids don't respect me anymore because of the names that you're calling me. Stop calling me Westbrook. Like, dude, just go home and like never do this again. You have like $300 million, however much money Westbrook has. Like, you don't have to do anything ever. So like, stop dealing with this.
But that's more to the point of what's the reason then? Why is he doing it? He's a competitive guy who loves basketball. And I think that right. is 99.9% of the people who get as far as a guy like Russell or this tennis player. And the only thing different about this tennis player is that
what's her name?
What is the tennis player's name?
Ash Barty. Her name is Ash.
Nice, Trent. I did not think you. I thought you were dead to rights right there.
Lines were just hitting a little too.
You guys sniffed that out in 2 seconds.
Good to see you too, man, buddy.
Ash Barty.
You would have gotten away with it if you just said this tennis player once, but you said this tennis player back-to-back times. Like, this guy doesn't know that name.
No.
Ash Barty is the exception to the rule where she made all this money, and like you said, Frankie, she just doesn't love it as much, but she's good enough to make all this money, and now she's going to go the other way. But I think everybody else, we just never see it. Because it makes sense in our brains because we're not those people where if we had all that money and I'm 27 or however old you are when you get after your big contract, I'd go Splitsville and I'd go to a beach, but I'm not that person. So it's hard to put yourself in those shoes. Ash Barty happens to have a little bit of both, and now she's going wherever she wants.
Also, in tennis, it's easier because it's a personal sport. You're not like letting a team down. It's sad for the game of tennis at some point because like fans of tennis want to see her continue her reign, I'm assuming, because that's just fun to watch the best of the best.
Big show focused on the game of tennis here. It's devastating for us to see that loss.
Yeah, I mean, I did notice that the PGA Superstore has just a huge section that says tennis. So, I mean, there is a massive connection.
There's a crossover. There's country club sports.
Yeah, it's all country club, white outfits, horrifying type of stuff that happens in those locker rooms. But at the end of the day, those people all suck that just do both. Like, I'm going to go to tennis and play golf. I just don't like the conversations that happen.
What do you think they talk about?
I don't know. Just like, the salmon was overcooked. So all I want to say about this is that I don't remember. You've
definitely complained about
salmon. I don't remember. I don't remember what I was going to say. I got to be honest. It's completely.
Well, why are you thinking of that?
Oh, it's not a team sport. So, like, Aaron Judge, I'm a Yankee fan. Like, if Aaron Judge gets a $200 million contract from the Yankees and then says, like, peace, I'm out of here. I'm like, well, like, I want to kill you now because we, like, dedicated our time, our life, our money to be fans of the sport, and like you're our outfielder, and like we need you to play now. Like that's what the Yankees and like my team has dedicated all this time to like make sure that you're this outfielder if you just leave. I mean, it's Kovalchuk with the Devils. Like the New Jersey Devils did everything they could to not trade Kovalchuk and bring him in and like give him this huge contract. Lou Lamoriello signed the guy for like what was it, like a 10-year ridiculous record-breaking contract? And then he just left and went to Russia, and no one saw him ever again. And they're just like, well, we could have been developing a much better team surrounding 10 times the amount of prospects and young players as opposed to offering you all this money and missing out on free agents. Like, that's where it gets crazy, where it's like, no, you've like made your bed. You got to sleep in it. Like, you are now playing this sport for me now. Like, I'm the fan. You're playing for me. Like, that's why you make that much money. She has earned it, like, on her own personal level. Tennis and golf, to me, you're able to do whatever the fuck you want. It's very
Wait, in that situation you just described, did that guy fulfill his contract or did he just leave?
He just bounced. And I think there was a decent amount of guaranteed money on that contract.
Yeah, I think he also, though, left a good amount on the table. I think he left a decent amount on the table, too.
Anytime you're dealing with Russia, what's going on over there now, but like it always felt with a Russian hockey player too, you never really like. There's that Andrew Radulov, like he's come back and forth a couple times, can't make up his mind where he wants to be. It's interesting.
The Islanders have Ilya Sorokin, our goalie. It took 5 years to get him over here. We had to get Varlamov, who was already in the NHL, to come over here and kind of like lure him over. If you look at the Islanders roster the last 3 years, there's like a bunch of Russians on the team to try and talk to him to be like, no, this is a good place to come and play. And we love him now. I mean, he's amazing.
Do they get treated like kings in Russia as the Russian hockey players? Is that the situation?
Oh, yeah.
Or okay.
Dude, you got to see those games over there. It's nuts.
But anyways, on the Ash Barty side, I think like, I mean, she probably also wants to have kids, family, whatever. She's 25. She's got a ton of money. And then I think like some of those players just like they gain, I don't know, they get there. And I think it's almost similar to Rory a little bit, like gain perspective a little bit. You see there's other things to this life. And I don't think Rory's like, hitting as many balls as he used to achieve the top of the mountain. Honestly, right now, of like where he is, and I think Ash like found that same spot.
Bold statement. You think Rory's mailing it in a little bit?
Didn't we talk about that on the podcast before? Of just like he just probably doesn't.
I don't want to speak
talk about
ill
it
of
with
a guy.
Ricky. I think we've talked about it with Ricky a little bit.
I certainly would not want to speak ill of a guy we just did a video with that is crushing on
That's
YouTube.
not speaking ill.
No, I think that there has been a conversation like that surrounding
a ringing endorsement.
No,
I would say.
I'm actually gonna sort of agree with Lurch here that there has been a conversation surrounding Rory like that for years.
I want you all to know that the next time this Ash Barty retires, we'll talk about it again.
Okay. I guarantee if no one brings it up to Frankie, will you know?
It was all over Twitter yesterday. I definitely saw that.
Yeah, that Ash Barty.
We all agree that she will come back.
Ash Barty
she'll come back.
Absolutely well as open.
Everyone knows she's going to play tennis at some point, right?
I'm putting my stake in the ground saying she's never playing again.
Bro, fuck off, dude.
Listen,
Brady's already back playing tennis.
I know more about Ash Barty than everybody on this podcast combined. She ain't coming back.
I've talked to her in the last 20 minutes, and she said, it's all just like a thing I'm going through. I'll be back on Thursday.
That female tennis player from Australia that we're talking about, she's she's gonna come back. She's gonna come back and play. I think I have no doubt about that. But it's 2 against 2 on the show, so we'll see. It reminded me of, I looked up a little bit of Bobby Jones. Bobby Jones retired at age 28 in 1930. On September 27th, 1930, he became the only man to win all 4 major titles in one season, completing the Grand Slam of golf. Then, while still in his athletic prime at the age of 28, he retired from competition to devote more time to his family and to his law practice. He won 7 majors, 9 PGA Tour wins, and the 1930
and $200.
Grand Slam. Obviously, it's different 100 years ago, clearly. From, he could just make more money being a lawyer than he could being the best golfer in the world.
That's insane. Dude, Brando put up a clip of Hogan playing back in the day in like the Western Open, and like he was basically going back and forth with someone about how like people nowadays don't realize that so many other things were considered majors throughout the history of golf. And it's interesting to see how much the record books have changed. Like at one point they counted all of Jack Nicklaus's amateur wins, like his US Ams, as majors. So like then they took a couple off the board for him. At one point he had 20, and then it's crazy how much it's changed. But yeah, there was a Western Open that like, it's interesting, like why that stuff just kind of vanishes and how golf has kind of just, I guess all sports have done it.
Right. The NIT used to be the main tournament in March Madness. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess all sports have done it.
Right. And then as it gets like at that time, like as it gets pushed further into the future and it becomes more solidified and the money gets bigger, like things become more clear cut, I would imagine. Because there are in every sport, you go back and it's like, who won? Like it wasn't even the Super Bowl. It's like the NFL championship or like there's all these weird, and then NBA, ABA, like there's all this weird stuff. But then I think as you get pushed and the money gets bigger, you have to draw these lines of like what's a title and what's not. And there's still some like, gray area with golf.
The Rangers won 3 Stanley Cups before polio was cured. Like, how do we ever compare those to guys winning Stanley Cups in like the fucking 20th century?
Didn't we count like Sam Snead's 82 wins or whatever, and like some
we're gonna audit
like,
it.
Dude, there was one where he won against the local golf club, and there was like 8 women that like just joined because they couldn't find enough people to play, and like he just won it by 1,000 strokes, and they're like, win. It's insane.
Win.
I want it on record, by the way. If I were to win a golf tournament like the Players with that purse, I would retire and I wouldn't even show up to the trophy ceremony. I would be gone like that. But I'm not the type of person who would ever win that tournament, so it's not going to happen. But that's the type of person I am. If I won, what was it, $3.6 million, I would just head right to the parking lot. And I would just
wouldn't see that you have the potential to then win another couple million since you just like won like arguably a major golf tournament.
You just got to enter the rest of the tournaments for the year. I mean, you just got to enter all those tournaments and hope you make the cut.
I would definitely see it. I mean, I would understand what's happening, but there is a part of me that would just be like, that's $4 million. Like, what else do I need? Do I need
Depends
more
on
than
where
$4
you're getting
million?
that money. If you're getting in New York, you're getting absolutely fucked. If you're getting in Florida, you're gonna get that money.
Here we go. I would take it and probably run. Maybe a couple more tournaments because that does give you a ton of exemptions. So I'd maybe do a couple more and throw my hat in the ring. But other than that, I'd be pretty happy.
Anamules. Anamules creates a game within the game that is fun and easy to play. Anamules can be played with players of all skill levels on an even playing field, even playing level. Anamules makes even bad shots and bad rounds fun and enjoyable. The app allows players to easily keep track of the game as well as their score. Players can earn free promotions from participating courses. That's a nice little perk. And Anamules is the simplest and most fun wager of any golfing day. Every time the beverage cart comes along, someone will be paying. You can download Anamules today for free. Played this game a bunch of times with my pals, with the guys that founded this whole thing, and it is just a completely different way to play. There's a lot of laughs. There's a lot of new terminology that will enter the lexicon of your friend group. Go to Anamules, okay? Go check out Anamules. Go download Anamules. That's Anamules. Anamules, available for free in Apple and Android app stores. Download today. Add this to your regular gameplay. People are always looking for different formats, different styles to switch it up to make it interesting when you play with the fellas or the gals or both. So go download Anamules for free. Try it. You'll enjoy it. It includes the beverage cart, which is always a great time. So go check out Anamules. A couple more from the galleries, and then we'll be ready to go. I want to watch some of this match play golf. I'm looking at Bryson right now. He looks large. I saw a few tweets that were saying he didn't quite look as big, maybe with some of his videos that were coming out of his swing recently, but he looks pretty fucking massive on TV right now.
Still the big hitting golfer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big hitting golfer. Jordan,
big good t-shirt.
Jordan says, "What's up, boys? Just wondering what happened to the theme music." Answer is that, I don't know, a year or so ago, whenever we got rid of it, basically ambulance chasers were coming around, and any music that was being used was just illegal or borderline illegal, or could potentially be illegal if somebody went after it, and it would be massive fines and issues and complications. So we just had to remove it from the show. We get a lot of those, actually, people asking what happened to the theme music.
We should make our own. We all just kind of make noises.
You're the musical guy. Let's put something together. Give us
you're the composer. Let's go, Beethoven.
Give us a bone structure of something that we could then, like, maybe I'll play an instrument on it, or somebody do some vocals. Like, that would be, and it can't be horrible. Like, actually, it has to have some sort of, it has to be a real song, because we don't want people to turn on the podcast and be like,
are we going for like a rock theme going into it, or are we trying to do Augusta piano style? Like, what kind of vibe are we trying to lead people into the episode? Or is that up to me to decide?
I think you give us options, because I know so little about music and the composition of music that I don't think I can come up with anything.
I mean, it's the start of the show. If you hit him with like a heavy rock, I don't know if that's the right way to do it. I think like a nice lead-in piano thing would be better.
Little heavy metal, like
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like it's crazy that when you guys hear the term rock, that's what you think of.
It's
no,
death
I
metal,
didn't.
right?
I didn't. But Lurch took us that way. He took us
Yeah.
that way.
I just
I'm
think, like,
thinking,
guitar is a
Like
little
rock could be the Eagles. Like I mean, like you think
classic
Take
rock.
It Easy is fucking screaming.
No. I do like a little rock. It's got to be upbeat, right? We're trying to get people
I think
like
what we would
jazzed
do
up
would
for the
be like,
show.
no, I think our vibe is like I'm trying.
Whatever's
What about
running
like
through your brain right now.
what about
Like
like CCR?
Ooh.
Just kind of that. I love that shit. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, you know.
All right, Frankie
maybe
hates
some
it. So,
Foo Fighters.
oh my god, yeah. Let's just get Dave Grohl to make us an intro
Bro,
song.
why don't we get like what? I mean, we have all the country like friends of all time. We should just have
true.
like Jake Owen make us a specific. I mean, or just like any of those guys, right? We should
sure
have them
they
make
would
us
do
a
it.
specific intro that's not going to get fucking copywritten. That's insane that we haven't thought of that.
We don't think very well. We're just
No, but that's good. I mean, we got.
No.
I mean,
Owen
Chris
for that.
Lane, Jake Owen, all these guys. We have them on all the
Cole
time.
Swindell. Shea
Barty.
Imagine,
Chase Rice, Shea
imagine
Mooney.
Shea Mooney just belting out. It's fireplace. It's just going crazy.
Now the question is, what's that actually going to cost? Because I'm sure we want it done for
Goodness of
free.
their heart, dude.
No, dude, they will not
Goodness
do
of
it for
their
free.
heart. Bro, just like, hey, man.
I
Like,
think they would.
For like
Well, we
10 seconds when you're in the studio, just like record a little diddly for us, and we're gonna stick it there, and like everyone will know. I mean, it's free publicity for them. Like it's just if they crush the intro, it's just 10 seconds. Like
I think
everyone's gonna be listening to Shea Mooney every time they listen to a podcast.
Shea Mooney definitely needs us to pop
I
up
know.
his
I'm just
promo,
saying.
for
Well,
sure.
they fucking promote their songs. It's not like they don't fucking promote their shit.
No, I agree with you. It is a little bit like asking your photographer friend to just come photograph your wedding for free, and then they're like, yeah, no, it's $10,000, and you're like, no, I thought we were friends. Like, well, I have a
That's
job.
what I
is
do
what
for work. Yeah, exactly.
That's
We'll
like,
send them. We'll send them a couple hoodies, a couple head covers. We'll
Yeah.
be good.
hey, you're a designer, right? Why don't you just build me a website real quick for like maybe? Can you just do that
Yeah.
since like we got a beer one time? That'd be lovely.
Shit.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? Anything going on there?
I gotta go pick up a
noodles?
U-Haul right now, so like that's what I gotta deal with. So
moving's
gotta
great.
try and lift this fucking mattress up. I got a little thing in my hip last night. I gotta play golf on Friday. I'm playing that Trump course by the bridge. What is that?
Ferry Point.
Ferry Point.
Ferry Point. First time ever playing it. I'm really excited for it.
It's actually awesome.
But
it's
I've got
fantastic.
a crazy bad pain in my back, so it's like I'm kind of thinking about dropping out, but also just thinking about
You got the
being a
outfit though.
warrior.
You got the G4s. You got the blues and the
You think
grays.
I should wear that? I don't know.
Definitely.
There.
Yeah,
With
you
the
got a
bridge in
nice
the
Q-zip to
background?
pull over that thing. Nice little PM Q-zip.
I might wear the Dad Bod PMQ zip one. You know the jacket
Oh
one
yeah,
that we
that
got?
beautiful
that gray
Peter
one?
Moore. That's definitely fits the bill of
That
goods.
was
Nice.
I got
That
bad
was really
sunburn this week in Myrtle Beach. Guys, we got to talk about, before we leave, I want to be late to this thing. We got to talk about this fucking place we went to in Myrtle Beach. Holy
yeah.
shit, dude. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? We went to Pirates Voyage, a Dolly Parton experience across the way from the hotel. We're coming out of the parking lot from this fucking hotel. We're on our way to the Barstool Classic. I'm telling you guys right now, I've never fallen in love with a place more than I've fallen in love with Myrtle Beach. It is tourist city. I am obsessed with it. There's stores, there's carnivals,
Clean.
it's clean, it's beautiful. I'm obsessed. What do I see right across the street from the hotel? I see this place called the Pirates Voyage, and underneath that it says a Dolly Parton experience. I don't even know what the fuck that means. What I know it means is that I had to be there. It had the side and it had the structure, the building had the structure of a Disney ride, where it had all of these ladders that you knew that like some sort of story's happening inside, and maybe they got to run outside and dude, I knew it. Like it smelt like a Disney ride. It smelt like you could tell the water was in there, bro. We go to this Barstool Classic. Everything goes great. Thank you, Grand Dunes. We go to do a commercial shoot. Shout out to Truly. We do that. We're looking at everyone being like, we got to get to this show by 6 o'clock. And if I was telling Rob, the director, if we don't get to this show, I'm going to fucking burn the place down. We get to the show like 10 minutes late. So the lights are already down. When I tell you guys this experience, it's dinner and it's a show that you've never seen before. The most impressive people on the planet happen to be inside Pirates Voyage, a Dolly Parton experience. They are flipping into the water. There's a seal that knows and remembers a 20-minute skit. And like, dude, I'm telling you right now, he waves to the crowd.
Salty the seal.
Salty the seal, cutest little thing you've ever seen in your entire life. And I asked, or someone asked in the group, does he have a good life? And they said, yes, he has a great life. So that's been answered already. I see the face you're making, Trent. Salty has a great life. They sell salty merch.
Yeah, somebody
loves it.
Can I post about this? There's this kind of animal abuse. And it was right as like our waitress was walking by. She's like, Salty has a phenomenal life. We were all like, perfect. That's all we needed to hear.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yep.
I mean, it's just...
I've been to Myrtle a few times for buddy trips. It's a great place down there. It's just golf course, steakhouses, and fun.
Essentially what it is it's medieval times. If anyone's gone to medieval times, I know there's one in New York. I think there's a couple.
Oh, the Dolly Parton is.
The Dolly Parton place. It's a show that you've never seen. It's a movie, and you're eating a chicken wing, and you've got potatoes, and you've got biscuits and gravy, and they're coming over with huge pitchers of Coca-Cola and Diet Coca-Cola, and they're just filling you up every 2 seconds, and like there's dogs running across planks. It's nuts, dude. It's an experience I've never had before, and I loved every second of it. I'm a theatrics guy.
You are.
Yeah, that sounds right up your alley.
Dude, it was excellent, and it was the staff, the performers were so into it. Well, but they're jumping off ladders, doing flips and shit into this pool, and the one guy like. He climbs out of the pool and then he just turns to the crowd and goes, "Let's go!" as he was like running back to do another flip on the ladder. So they were into it. They had sea lions at one point. They had dogs. They had little doggies that would run and jump off the bridges into the water. And then they had like logs. They did like the logs across. And the different performers were like doing contests to see who could run across the logs without falling in. And then all of a sudden this little puppy came and just sprinted across and the crowd went wild.
Sick.
It was amazing. And you get a delicious dinner throughout the entire thing.
Amazing chicken. Just the biggest piece of chicken you've ever seen with just like salty,
fried
greasy,
or grilled.
Fried.
Oh,
Yeah. Rotisserie chicken. Just fucking.
Yikes! How good is that?
So good.
It's so fried chicken. Just
No, it wasn't fried. It was the rotisserie thing.
what?
I know what you're
I guess
saying.
it was-
It's like a baked chicken.
Boiled, I guess.
I don't know.
Not a chef, but yeah,
Deep fried.
It was good.
So it was
No.
fried.
It was good.
Yeah, it just didn't have breading. I think you're thinking of like Kentucky Fried Chicken. When
Yeah, but
you say
it was
fried
the whole
I'm thinking-
chicken, just
Yeah.
fried,
Yeah.
like those you buy them from the supermarket.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's still good. Yep.
Myrtle's great. We're gonna explore that place more this summer and get the full experience. We're gonna do a little travel series. We're gonna capture some more activities around that area. Might have to hit that one with you fellas because I think you would enjoy it. Okay, I'm finished here. That was a little bit of from the gallery. So for the upcoming shows, if you'd like to get your question, concern, hypothetical, comment, whatever the hell it might be, foreplay@barstoolsports.com. Title it, subject line from the gallery, and we'll get to it. Everybody enjoy the match play. Let's go Kisner. Let's go all of our guys. Let's just root for good golf. And we got tournament. We got all kinds of stuff this weekend. So have a good one. We'll see you next Tuesday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard. Yeah, baby.